For all the Big 12 games today. So I think TV enjoys having the Big 12 on. I know analytically we got 10 teams in the top 50 net, and 5 games came down to one possession or something today. So if you're ranked, you probably lost. I mean, that's college basketball. We're blessed to play this sport, blessed to play in the Big 12 and opportunities like this. And I thought the crowd once again was huge, and I thought with our team, we knew it was going to be a real hard-fought game, but when you shoot 5 for 20, we've had 2 Big 12 games. We haven't shot well and won, and that's, as a coach, you're pleased with that. Now we'll go back and find, were they good shots, not good shots, and try to improve that. But huge win, and thank the crowd.
Scott, we talked to you about your team's defense earlier this week and how it was progressing. What did you think about it tonight? Because it seemed like it was huge in your comeback and in the zone especially.
Well, you hold teams to 27 and 32 points. You got to be – it's not an offensive – I mean, it's not a defensive problem. So Cincinnati, elite rebounding team, and so much pride in our offensive rebounding, so disappointed that we got out offensive rebounded, but credit them, and there's a reason they're really good. And then I thought defensively we did a great job rebounding 25 to 20. But the big thing, too many turnovers and a lot of ones that we can change. And then the zone got the crowd going, got us going, made a couple shots, and now we just we haven't had a lot of close games, and you look out there, Jalen Bridges is the only starter that's used to being in those close games. And it hit me when I was thinking about, like, we were going over some game-ending stuff, and it's a little different when it's a packed arena in a Big 12 game on a game-ending time than it is in an empty Farrell Center, and you're just going through stuff.
Coach, you just touched on it a little bit, but an overtime win in Stillwater, a tight one to BYU, then tonight, a close one coming down to the wire at the end. What is this showing about the grittiness of your guys, but also just this conference in general?
Well, I think the good Lord's blessed us, first and foremost, with a couple close wins. And Fran Fischel always says this, balls in the air, good coach, bad coach, good coach, bad coach. And we've had some go out for them. The big thing is we've gotten the rebounds, and we made free throws when we needed to make them down the stretch. And at the end of the day, we're going to learn a lot during this season, and the Big 12 helps you do that. So hopefully if you're blessed to get to postseason, you've seen, experienced, been in tight games, and you know what you need to do. Doesn't guarantee you're going to win, but at least that experience is something that's beneficial.
Scott, Jacoby went scoreless for about 25 minutes, and then he ends up with 14. Well, what did he do to maybe get, more points or more chances?
He is pacing himself. So I thought Cincinnati did a great job defensively, but I thought we were a little hesitant too. When you miss a couple shots, then you might not look to shoot, and you might try to overdrive or overpenetrate. And credit Jacoby getting to the free throw line 6 times is great, and 1 for 6. So he's a shooter. He knows if he's feeling it or not. And I know the last 3 he made was a big one when he made it.
Scott, speaking of him, there was a time we had that loose ball tied up and they got possession, and he had been struggling. You stopped him and said a couple of things to him. Was that to kind of just get him to calm down?
No, I told him to call timeout. So I'm yelling timeout. He's the one that's got to call it. So, again, just being in those situations. And it's a little different when it's a packed arena, national TV, Big 12 game. And, Jacoby's 7 rebounds. We don't win without that.
Scott, Dan Skilling's finished with 24 points tonight to lead all scorers. Can you just talk about his performance and describe how he gave you problems?
Yeah, he gave us a lot. Coming in, we knew he was an elite offensive rebounder, and he got 3. But I think we know he's a really good player, really good attacking the rim, really good athlete. But the 4 for 6 threes really hurt us tonight. You take out that 4 for 6, and our zone was really, really effective.
Coach, in the back, when guys like Jacoby kind of had trouble finding their rhythm in the first half, Langston obviously stepped up. I think he's double digits in his last 3 games. Does it kind of seem like he's kind of find himself again, getting back to his old self?
Yeah, I think Langston, ACL, eye injury, everything else. He's finally, and he's the one that's been and witnessed and seen this type, and being from Mount Verde, he's played in big games. The physicality's got a body built for the Big 12. I know assists and rebounds will bother him tonight because he should be a stat sheet stuffer, but he was really big offensively.
Scott, you talked about the crowd. During that 13-0 run, I wrote down, this place is loud. How loud did it get during that run?
Well, hopefully it even gets louder because we needed that energy, and that's huge. And but I know we got a lot more big moments ahead of us. It's just it's new for all of us. We're treating it like an NBA arena. We come over here, get the shoot around, get the game. But I can tell you that President Livingstone and Mac did a great job. And once all this construction, everything's done downtown, again, it's really going to make Waco a much better city.
The coach has had 19 against Texas. He's 1 for 10 tonight and misses that last 3, 0 for 7 on threes.
Who was that?
The guy that, Lukosius.
Oh, Lukosius, yeah.
Yeah, guy that missed the last 3.
Yeah, well, I think.
Was he a focus?
Oh, most definitely, yeah. Coming in, I mean, he had a great game against Texas all year long. He's been good. And, one thing is against Texas, he did it from deep, did it from mid-range, but he can pass the ball too. So he's an offensive weapon, and I thought our guys did a good job trying to make everything difficult for him.
Scott, I know y'all are changing maybe your travel plans a little bit to get ahead of the weather to go to K-State. I think this is the last time we'll talk to you before that game. First of all, just being tied, for the lead in the Big 12, that's got to be nice. And then, going up against your old buddy, Coach Tang, I mean, what do you expect there?
A lot of snow, a lot of ice, and I'm glad that we get to spend longer up in Manhattan. But Coach Tang does a great job. K-State fans are great. It's another Big 12 game, and I know they had a tough loss today, but going into today, Coach Mack, Coach Tang, both undefeated, doing a great job with their programs. Not fun competing against somebody that you work with, and he knows everything that we do. Anyway, last year they got us twice, so at some point we got to get him.
Coach, earlier this week you talked about how the hostile environment here, how loud it is prepping you for those hostile environments on the road. So you're going to Manhattan. How do you feel that maybe, playing in this loud atmosphere is prepping you to go up against that kind of environment?
Yep, playing against Michigan State, playing against Duke, I think that really helped us for the Big 12 because those two environments were rocking, and obviously very good teams. So now it's a situation where in the Big 12, especially teams like K-State that know you so well, players got to make plays because there's not a lot of cheap buckets, a lot of easy buckets.
Anything else for Coach?
Go ahead.
Coach, first look at Cincinnati. Just thoughts on their program and how tough is it to game plan for a team that you're not really familiar with?
Well, I think first Wes Miller has done a great job with them. You look at his tenure there in a short period of time. He's brought in a great roster, and they one of the best compliments a coach can ever give another coach is their team to play really hard, and I mean they really compete, very physical. So very impressed with them. Obviously, first go around, you learn a lot more about somebody's teams and players. And normally in this league, what makes it so good is it's hard to outcoach anybody because coaches are really good. It's a players' league, and players make plays. Thank you, guys.